Hello, students. Can I get a confirmation from you all in the chat box, students, if you are able to see the screen and the voice is audible from your end? Can I quickly get a confirmation from you all in the chat box? Thank you. Thank you very much, Preetham. Now, students, I have not yet marked your paper. The reason is, firstly, I want to give you confidence in the initial stages because I think this question was very much unpredictable. Can I get a Y in the chat box, students? If it is predictable, you can put in. But if you are thinking this question was very much unpredictable within the 60 minutes time, how can I respond something like that? Now, this is the reality of SCS students. You must not study, then only you will pass. Because the truth is that, because if you speak to any people who are passing the SCS, they are effectively saying one thing. Their mind was very much calm during the exam and they were just thinking for that particular time how they can solve that issue, and they effectively were able to solve the issue. That was the feedback that was given by many of the candidates. And one thing, students, I have to be very, very direct and transparent to you that at the end of the day, students, you have to not focus effectively on perfection. You have to focus on the solution. So this is not a correct answer, even if I give you. And I can give you the independence. I'm giving you the full independence to Preetham, to Unati, Rahul, Gamu, anyone in the class. I only say that there needs to be solid arguments. So your solid arguments will effectively ensure there is a very good quality in our thinking rather than a one-way process. Students, let's focus on this. Firstly, evaluate the following scenarios. 60 percentage point of focus. This is scenario planning. Now, in the exam day, scenario planning, they will give you three different scenarios, and you have to give solutions specifically targeting the three different scenarios. The government imposing a law on direct lithium extraction can be done in Falan. The government nationalizes the lithium mines and take full control. The government having a complete ban on lithium extraction. Very, very, very sensitive scenarios. But can I ask a question from Preetham or Unnati? Do you think cigarette companies are already prepared for a ban? Can I get a Y in the chat box? Do you think alcohol companies are already prepared for a ban? Yes or no? Do they have a preparation of preparing for a ban? Of course, students, I'm telling you practical factors that you have to understand it very differently. Okay, so what I will do, I'll just write down here evaluation of scenarios. Okay, scenario one. In that, I will mention government imposing law on direct extraction lithium can be done in Falan. Only direct lithium extraction can be done in Falan. So the next one, government nationalizes the lithium mines and take full control. The government having complete ban on lithium extraction. Okay. Don't panic in the exam. Finish this first. Then Evaluate the challenges of economic risk affecting business of lithium of Rotomyne. Done. Okay. Shaista has sent you the following mail. One of the lithium mine is operated in Falun, which is a developed country. There can be a recent election. There has been a recent election, and the new government is very much concerned about factors like climate change, environmental proposals as well. Therefore, in order to be more proactive, we are planning on a scenario planning where we predict and be prepared to the scenarios. Also, we need some guidance on how the economic risk may affect the P dollars, depending on the new government policy as well. Now, students, new government has come. Government is more focused on environmental proposals. So let's do the analysis what we have done and the reference material. There is a new government in Falun and they have made lots of new policies more related to environment, conservation, and sustainability. There is a wild guess there can be a situation where lithium extraction can have embargoes or quotas as well. That means ban. Embargo means ban. Quotas means a limit. Also, there have been economic policies like taxation charges and specific excise duty and money supply factors well to be considered. Okay, now students, let's initially work on the basics. The government imposing a law on direct lithium extraction can be done. That is, only direct lithium extraction can be done. Now, my question to you all, okay, now in this particular situation, if they mention that only direct lithium can be done, considering the environmental factors, already you have what students? You have direct lithium or you have the other two methods, which is effectively the hard rock mining and traditional brine. These two are the thing that we effectively have. So in that situation, what will be the response at the moment? So can I come with this? Yes or no? Yeah. Can I start working on this? Yes. If the government imposes only direct lithium, there is still possibility for lithium extractions. For lithium extractions. Agree, no? Therefore, the company can eventually invest on direct lithium, provided that there is a high level of lithium resources. Can I quickly get a confirmation from you all in the chat box, students? Can I quickly get a Y in the chat box? Thank you. Thank you very much, students. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, let's move forward step by step so that you will be understanding how these things can be done even more better and more clearer. However, we may have challenges with regards to funding. Therefore, we can request for insurances provided any cover this type of political risk. Students, can I ask you a very, very open question? Did anyone mention something related to these students? Did anyone mention something related to insurance? Preetham, anything related to insurance? Anyone? because students, it should be more with provided, okay? Because you have to think that means in the pre-seen material they have not given, but you have to think and say provided any cover for this type, because it is a conditional sentence, provided. So Unnati, everyone, are you understanding how you have to like be practical here? You understand, right? Your brain needs to be very, very much dimensional, very, very much thinking oriented. Therefore, in that case, we have to understand that the business will eventually have a challenge as well. We need to lobby creating the job loss and unemployment. Students, can I get a confirmation from you all in the chat box? Students, job loss and unemployment. Are you getting that perspective? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. So in that case, there can be some temporary delay. Students, if you have come from developing countries, the thing is rules are spoken, but when it comes to the implementation, the rules are not so perfect. But in a developed country, it's not like that, students. Rules is rules every time. Rules is rules every time. Students, the next thing. Also, we can ask for partnership from other firms. Since all the firms are affected, there can be a joint venture to form a union-based lithium extraction firm. Did anyone think about this, students? Because if this happens, it's only not for us. It is for all the firms in the market. So can they form a small union for lithium extraction? Are you understanding that perspective? Can I quickly get a confirmation from you all in the chat box, students? I believe that you are slowly getting the thinking aspects. So this can be still be the best situation of all three. Of all three. Best situation of all three. Are you feeling fine with that? Best situation of all three. Three worst situation. Of the worst situation, best is this. Why still there is a chance that we can continue the business in this case? Now, students, can I come to the scenario number 2? A government nationalizes the lithium mines and take full control. Now, here comes the challenge. Now, my question to the classroom is, think about Russia. Russia-Ukraine war is happening, and many countries in the United States of America has effectively gone against Russia. Correct, no, students? Can I quickly get a Y in the chat box? Yeah. So still, Russia has nationalized and taken full control. But my question in the particular situation is like, in a situation where lithium is needed and they're taking the full control of all these things, can we have a situation of how we are going to solve this? Students, can you little bit think about it, students, how we can solve this? Can you little bit think about this solving situation? Can I get a Y in the chat box? Government nationalizes the lithium mines and take full control. Now, in some past paper answers, they would have mentioned you can lobby against the opposition party. You can give the party. But the problem in the case of, I'll write down here, students, I'll just write down here. Some students memorizes past paper answers. The generic answers now is fund the opposition party But within brackets, can I write down one point of view? Funding the opposition party, it may not work. It may not work since government is already formed. Now, if you look at India students, I don't think now supporting Congress will have any impact to changes of the current law of BJP because already the parliament has been formed. Can I get a Y in the chat box, students? Are you understanding what I'm saying there, students? Because certain students are just writing answers without even going forward. Thank you. Public-private partnership. Good point. So government nationalizes the lithium mines and take full control. Now, the first thing is there is no option since this is a political threat and we have to accept this since mines are not movable. Also, this nationalization policy will be considered affecting the global trade. For instance, since there are only 4 suppliers of lithium, we can eventually request a boycott on the lithium sold by the government. And we can create a propaganda. Can I write down example? Iran oil and gas. Students, you see Iran, have you observed there is something called sanctions against Iran, students? Can I quickly get a confirmation from you all in the chat box? Students, I think you may be aware that Iran is a very, very, very different country in the Middle East. Yeah. They are not an Arabic country, they are a Persian country. And if you observe Iran, you will always see they have international issues. For instance, students, just to give you an idea, I'll just give you. So 1 USD is 42,000 Iranian riyal. Can I quickly get a Y in the chat box, students? Are you understanding the point of view, students? It's just 42,000 students, 42,000. Do you feel the impact of a global sanction, how it will affect the local economy, students? Are you getting the perspective there? Because many people are very much concerned of how, because you see, 42,000 real, students, is $1. So that will be the situation. Further, this can affect international trade and also this can be lobbied against international trade networks as well. Therefore, this is a worst case scenario. But we can be a reseller of lithium in this case. That means, students, look at the situation. Saudi Arabia government owns the petroleum. But who actually sells the petroleum from Saudi to the world is United States. Students, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box, students? That is, in this case, you can effectively end up as a reseller. Are you understanding that perspective? not a direct seller. You can buy the lithium from the government and then you can sell it to the market from your company brand. Are you clear? Therefore, this can be a better remedy, solution. This can be a better remedy in that case. Students, any questions you like to ask, you can ask me, students, but are you clear with that perspective of becoming a reseller? Becoming a reseller. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, students. Now, students, let's go to the scenario number 3. Shall we start working with the scenario number 3? Yes. The scenario number 3 is effectively focusing on the following. Government having a complete ban on lithium extraction. Government having a complete ban on lithium extraction. Students, in that case, it's a challenge. In these two cases, still, there is a potential, there will be lithium in the market. But in the third situation, students, is there any potential for lithium in the market? Are you understanding what I am saying there, students? Is there any potential for lithium in the market, students? Are you getting that perspective there? Can I quickly get a confirmation from you all in the chat box? Can I quickly get a confirmation from you all in the chat box? Yeah. Now, students, you have to think like this. In Sri Lanka, what happened was they went for something called organic farming. They completely banned fertilizers. Eventually, country became bankrupt. Now, students, you have to think in that perspective. Let the government ban the lithium and let's see what is happening to the government in the near future. Are you understanding that perspective, what I'm saying there, students? Let the government ban the lithium and let's identify what is happening to the government in the near future. Can I quickly get a confirmation from you all in the chat box if you understood that perspective, students? Because this is something practical you have to think. Thank you. In this case, we have to accept the loss. There is no options. Therefore, in this situation, the biggest challenge associated can be the lithium is no more. This can affect the economy since the GDP may reduce, resulting in a situation where the country may have to increase the tax and which may result in inflation. Therefore, in the long run, in case if the country does not have any resources other than lithium, they may have an economic crisis. They may have an economic crisis. Students, example, Sri Lanka government in 2019 banned fertilizers and focused on organic farming, which eventually failed and the country became bankrupt. Are you clear with that, students? Can I quickly get a confirmation from you all in the chat box? Thank you. Thank you very much, students. Thank you very much, students. So this is the perspective, students. Are you convinced with my discussion? If you have anything, you can correct me. I am not your teacher. I am just a part of a class. I'm just within you. I'm within your circle. Can I get a double Y in the chat box if you're fine? Because this answer is very, very, very practical. This answer is very, very, very practical, very, very, very differentiated. Can't we lobby against to stop them? Practically, yes. But I don't think people know what is the term of lobby. Lobbying will generally be successful only during as instability government. Now, if you lobby against Russia to stop the war between Ukraine, Preetham, do you think that will work in a situation in Russia? I don't think so. And if you lobby against Israel to stop attacking Palestine, do you think that will work, Patra? Because you are observing, right? Israel-Palestine war is going at a higher pace. So many allegations, so many lobbying taking place. Starbucks CEO also got fired. But still, do you feel lobbying will be successful in a case where the government is very much stable? Are you understanding that? Now, in America, current situation wise, lobbying will be successful. Are you understanding that, students? In United States of America, lobbying will be successful, but it will not be successful in other places as well as you think. Now, Asian countries, yes, lobbying will be successful. But when the country has a stable government which is able to take such amount of uh, decisions, I don't think. Now, example, United Kingdom, if you see, the Labour Party has won the election after a long time. Tony Blair, the new party. But do you think, students, the Labour Party will eventually be able to lobby at the moment? Challenging. Thank you. Economic affecting the business. Economic affects, oh, sorry. Economic risk affecting the business. Now, students, imposition of excise duties. This may increase the price of lithium. And this will eventually reduce the demand for the lithium since other countries are producing at a lower price. Are you understanding that perspective, students? Therefore, for Rotomyne, this mining will not be commercially successful. Are you understanding that perspective, students? Commercially successful will become a doubt for this country. Are you clear with that, students? Because it's an economic rule, no, students, the imposition of excise duties. Can I get a confirmation from you all in the chat box, students? Thank you. Thank you. The next one, students, just I'm writing, but don't worry, I'll guide you everything. Rules with regards to export quotas. If there is an export quota, still this will affect the business since limits only for sale. Therefore, in that case, there will be emergence of black market. Students, emergence of black market where illegal sales can take place. Students, can I quickly get a confirmation from you all in the chat box if you understood that perspective of that? Thank you. Thank you. imposition of excise duty rules with regards to export quotas. Slowly, I'm going forward. The other one, students, I can effectively say is increase in the cost of living. The labor cost in the mining will increase. This can be a challenge as well. Therefore, in that case, this can result in a cost increase and eventually the profits may fall down. Students, so many are there, like money printing may affect it. Okay. But I'm not going through this detail, but my objective was this section, students, because this is a sure question in the exam. Again and again, I'm repeating the same thing. They will not be asking you to write the again the same thing. You have to improvise your thinking aspects. Students, can I quickly get a confirmation from you all in the chat box, students? If you are clear with these points, if you are clear with these points. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Students, this was a great exercise for your mind, actually. This is how we practically think. This is how we practically do also. I'll come to your questions. Feroza, any questions for the day? Preetham, any questions for the day? Mr. Rahul, any questions for the day? Unnati, any questions for the day? Yeah, Feroza, it's a very good question. In questions like this, where there is no single answer, you must integrate something naturally. Feroza, naturally, not artificially. Artificially, you are doing means you can't pass. You understood the point, what I'm saying? No, Feroza. It should be a natural perspective of writing, real life example. But if you are writing artificially for the sake of writing, you can feel it, students. You can feel it. You can feel it. That don't waste time. Is there a point of money supply? Yeah, example, if you print money, what happens is again there will be inflation in the nation. When the inflation happens, the cost of living goes up. It will affect the mining process, and that will cause again another profitability impact to the business. Is that fine, Preetham? The point of view with regards to the money factor affecting the business, money supply, excess supply of money results in an inflation called monetary inflation. Monetary inflation. Is that clear? Thank you. Thank you. Students, I'll just go through others. So I hope others are fine. So Rahul is fine, Unnati is fine, Feroza is fine, Preetham is fine. Students, today I'm not giving you any exercise. Mock number 5, we will do it live on the class. And mock number 6, I will give you to work it out for you. Because today you can take a break, students. But next week onwards, we will increase our intensity. But this paper is very different from the rest of the papers. This paper is purely focusing on how you are able to think, how you are able to think. So thank you very much, students. I will effectively meet you up in the next class with your results also. Take care, students. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, students, for everything you have done.